Hello, Solo Board Game Guide here, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the quests and the specifics of how these quests are going to work, with how the maps and setup's going to go, along with the tile layouts, some edits I've made to the map tiles, and also some of the interesting symbols and game mechanics that are going to go into Decline, my solitaire role-playing game come tactical combat experience. So, if you've been watching the channel for a while, then you'll be familiar with this kind of thing. So it's a poker-sized card. That's what's represented by the faint outline. The pink outline is the bleed area, and basically everything inside is definitely going to be printed. Now, until the last video, these grid lines fell outside the card, so there was really no way of telling exactly what grid tiles were going to be on each card, which is a bit awkward for planning purposes. So I've basically found a way of trimming it and getting everything within the pink area, which is great, which then leads to the question, how am I going to, in the quests, going to lay out the monsters? So on the back of each of these quest cards, and there's going to be terrain cards, there's going to be 30 of them, there's going to be if I can find it, this kind of situation. So it's going to have a number, which is going to be 1 to 30. It's going to have a name of that particular tile. The name is just for flavour. And it's going to have a few symbols. So the first symbol is just a random thematic symbol for role-playing purposes. So if you want to use these cards for, running a D&D campaign or Pathfinder or whatever, you can use that for some kind of inspiration. There may also, in the future, be some kind of quest which uses these symbols. We've also got a scatter symbol, so that will have, the various positions at 45 degrees, because there'll be various effects in the game which will call on a scatter die. So rather than running the whole thing through dice, you'll be able to turn it over, and the entire deck of terrain cards will also function as a timer, come random item generator, which I'll come on to. Excuse me. So each quest will consist of 9 cards, which means there will be 21 cards in the deck, which will be this orientation, so it'll be face up showing this side, and it's going to show various things. So the things it will show: random symbol, scatter direction, probability distribution. So for example, the question, will a goblin turn up as the next monster? Then if the quest specifies that the goblin showing up will be a low, medium, or high probability, you'll reference this mini little bell curve. So no, yes, yes in this case. So let's say it was a medium probability of a goblin showing up. Just turn a card over at random, and yes, a goblin is going to show up as the next monster. Excuse me. Right, so on the old the map tiles, which will form together to make a battle map, tabletop battle map such as that, it's basically a 5x8 grid. So each of the other 21 cards that don't form the battle map will be used as a timer come draw pile. And for example, you want to place we're going with goblin, so you're going to place a goblin on a random card. Where do you put it? Rolling dice for coordinates is really, really cumbersome. So turn a card over, and it's got a position where you're going to place one of the cards. So in the background here, we have one of the sort of crafting items. The crafting being either loot, herbalism, or mining. This happens to be a herbalism card. So if you were to do a search for some kind of artifact come part, then in this case you would reference the herbalism table. And the final excuse me, fighting a bit of a chest infection, the final part is a bit of flavour. So for the world of Decline and Volond. So avoid eye contact, agree, pay the bribe, do not ask questions. The Volondian Guard are as dangerous as any bandit. So says the Wilderness Traveller's Guide. So that's the back of each of these cards. There will be something similar to that Again, I'm going to work on the graphics for my test printing, which I am going to have in early November. I'm going to have all 30 of these done. I'm basically knocking these out a few every night. Let's have a look at my little diary that I've got. Yeah, I've managed. I managed 7 last night, so I've got 30 to do. So you know, a few nights they'll be done. It's not particularly difficult to do these. So let me show you some other bits that I've been working on. So this is a quest card. So I've got 30 quests. I say I've got 30 quests. I've got 30 quests planned. I've got 4 quests written, and the basic story plan for the whole game planned out. But this is the first one. Your ancestors' trades of gathering and farming can no longer support the household, let alone pay the unofficial taxes demanded by the roving Volundian Guard, themselves who have not been paid for weeks. Coming home to your uncle's house, weary from a long day at the labour lines, you notice the door ajar and the faint shape of a body in the doorway. The inevitable has happened. Refusing the demands of the guard can only lead to one outcome. With the guard still searching the area for witnesses, you find yourself outnumbered. Winning the fight is not an option. Finding your uncle's caches and slipping into the night is. So each one of the quests, all 30, will, in this first version of the game, and I am tempting fate by suggesting there will be later versions of the game, perhaps even expansions, there's going to be, these cards are going to tell the story of the world of Volond and the basically stagnation, decline of the great empire. So the idea is there is going to be a continuous story going from quest 1 to 30. It will basically be impossible to attack them in a linear fashion, in the sense that you do quest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quest 3 will be so difficult that you'll have to do a few random quests between quest 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 to accrue the loot and the necessary weapons and equipment to succeed. This is subject to change, but the basic format is going to be as such. So side 1 is going to be flavour and the type of quest. Side 2 is first of all going to show you the foes, so the enemies that you'll be facing. So this is very much a spoiler. So you're going to have a Volundian captain and 3 of the Volundian guards, which are roving the area, searching for anyone who has survived their raid on your uncle's house. So basically looking to off witnesses. The map is going to take this format. So it's going to be a 3 by 3 grid in landscape format. So it will basically take the format of 12, which corresponds to, if I can find it. So this is card 1. So card 12 would have a number 12 on here, and on the other side of it will be whatever terrain features on card 12. 13, 14S. The S or N represents which way round it is placed on the board. So they'll all be placed in a landscape fashion, so it's either one way or the other. So it's the orientation. An underline represents an enemy on that particular card, and the enemy is determined by randomly drawing a card from the unused terrain tiles, which will show where to place it. And you'll basically place it in order left to right. So we'll place a Volundian captain, 12N, in this case, you would place it on middle column 2 down. So it would be middle column 2 down. So the Volundian captain will go in this place. It'll give you a starting position at the door of the house. And the setup, shuffle the 1 to 9 tokens. Within this game, there is going to be a number of tokens, laser cut tokens. I've sort of gone down this path of how I'm going to produce this. 1 to 9, place 1 on each map tile at random. Again, using the rear of the card to generate a random position. These are your uncle's caches. Any potions, weapons, and armour can be used immediately. And the win condition is to gather at least 3 caches and escape over the bridge. Of course, when you encounter one of these tokens, you won't know what number it is. You'll turn it over, you might uncover D6 on the herb table. That might be a bit of spirit nettle. You have no idea what that is at the first quest, so you might choose to carry on questing, maybe get a simple dagger, wooden glove, or a sling, which gives you a bit of ranged ability. So it's a bit of a push your luck, and the whole time you are so massively out-armed that you're not going to want to get into a fight. You're basically avoiding. Something I really, really want to try and skirt round in this game is a hero quest style. Encounter a monster, roll some dice, kill it, move on to the next. I want to have interesting quests whereby you're going to be doing things other than just slay monsters, where basically you're going to win. So this happens to be a sort of a hunt the treasure kind of quest, and that's first out of the box. And I'm going to stack the odds such that you're not going to win a fight. You might take a few health points, but you're almost certainly going to lose. And that's going to be in the quest a map such as this. So, excuse me. So that gives you a bit of a another insight into the world of Verland and Decline, and I've commissioned 2 more pieces of art. It's the Verlandian Guard for this first quest, and also because I was sort of feeling a bit sad that I was going down kobold, orc, goblin, undead, guard route, the traditional D&D, that I've sort of made up some creatures. So I've come up with various weird and wonderful magical creatures, and one of them I have commissioned, which is, I'm going to leave it with you. I haven't decided whether they're going to be called the Korax or the Croakin, but either way, the description is super cool, and I'm really looking forward to seeing my little brainchild come into fruition by my lovely artist. But if you look up Korax in Latin, then you'll have an idea as to what this creature will be, and I'll leave that with you. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't already, sign up to the link in the description. It's a growing list. People are emailing me on a daily basis, and it's just incredibly motivating and inspiring. So thank you very much, and I look forward to making this game a reality. Test print in November. See you in the next video.